We're not gonna be able to shoot anything yet.
What's up, guys? So we're back again with another Resident Evil video, and this time we're gonna be telling you guys why we think Resident Evil flopped so massively and why the game just pretty much sucks. So, Dad, I know you're pretty heated about this topic. You've been wanting to film this video for a while, and you're ready to lay into them. So why don't you tell us why you think this game, A, why it flopped and didn't do so good, and then secondly, why you think what makes it such a bad Resident Evil game compared to the rest of the franchise.
Of course. So, if y'all don't know, the legacy behind RE6, it was basically the Resident Evil game that killed the series, which is true because the Resident Evil game didn't come out for another 5 years, which was Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. And the thing I hate the most about this game is the fact... Okay, number one, it's super long. This is the longest Resident Evil game out of all of them. This game, on average, is about 20 hours with all the campaigns. Which, you know, okay, that's cool, right? You're going to have 4 different perspectives. But guess what? They start out as different perspectives, but like halfway through, they all just merge into the same, just an action game. It's nothing survival horror. Leon's campaign is a perfect example of it. Like right now, it's slow going. It seems like, oh, it's going to be survival horror. But then like halfway through, stuff just starts blowing up everywhere. It's just over the top, like Michael Bay was directing this game. And in all honesty, it's just a slap in the face. But in all honesty, out of all the campaigns I've played, I think Chris's campaign is by far the worst. Simply because his is just, it's like a Call of Duty campaign. There's nothing unique about it. It's just stupid in my opinion. But the next point behind this game, but you might be saying to yourself, well, if you like RE5, you should like RE6, which isn't true. In my opinion, I think RE5 was hands down the better co-op experience than this game. This game is just over the top when it comes to the melee combat, which, you know, I get it. They're trying to reinvent the movement system because RE4 and 5 had the same exact system. RE5 just kind of did the system a little bit slightly better, which, you know, is cool. You can kick zombies while they're down instead of having to pull out your knife, look down, and slash at them. It's also a co-op experience, which, in all honesty, is the main reason why RE5 is actually really fun. Playing with AI is not very fun, but when you have your buddy with you, the experience is drastically different. The same can be said about this game, and the one thing that this game actually did better than RE5 was when you're playing solo, you don't have to save your co-op partner or heal them or worry about their inventory unlike in RE5. And RE5 in this game's inventory system is so terrible. They had a perfect system with RE4 and then they just decided, yeah, we're going to change it just to innovate. And they innovated it in a terrible way. This game, the herbs are healing tablets. But thinking, well, that's minimal. Yeah, but you got to combine them twice. Like, you got to combine them in your inventory, and then you got to send it to the case instead of it just being you combine a green and red, and you can use it instantly and heal yourself to max health. In this game, the only healing item that heals you all the way is a first aid spray, and they're pretty rare throughout the game. But this game, I think this is the worst Resident Evil. I truly think this is where the series killed itself, but at the same time, it gave way to Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, which revitalized the series, and this game also sold well like RE5. More than likely because if people played RE5, they're like, oh, this game's just going to be like that, and in a sense it was, except they just took it and times it by 10. Explosions, huge, big fireballs, you know. The melee combat, yeah, it's cool, but it's like, it doesn't feel like Resident Evil. It feels like an action game. But what do you have to say about Resident Evil 6?
Well, I mean, I share a similar view to you on this game. My thing is, I love Resident Evil games because I love horror games. I love survival horror games. And like you were saying, this game is, it's just like a COD campaign almost. Because it's so over the top. There's nothing survival horror about it. It's just an action adventure game.
You'll need to get the elevator
And
working to get there.
I don't like the fact that, yeah, like you were saying, we have 4 separate story modes or storylines with 4 different characters.
Thank you.
What they all
Let's
end
find
up
your
coming
daughter and get
together
outta
to be
here.
the same thing. Like, no, we don't need to do that 4 separate times. And you were saying that the campaign is long. Yeah, it's long as shit for no reason. Like, yeah, you might have 5 overall missions in one person's story, but each of those 5 missions takes 5 hours to get through. So that's beyond frustrating and beyond annoying. And by the time we get done with one mission, I'm just so frustrated and annoyed from it taking so long to get through it that I'm ready to turn the game off and go to bed. It's so annoying every single time. I would rather just have one long campaign with short missions than one short campaign with a bunch of long missions. It's just annoying, and that's not how it's supposed to be. And then as for, gameplay wise, I do have some critiques, and one of my main problems with this game's gameplay is the constant falling down anytime you're in a danger zone or you've been hit or whatever.
Or you get shot, you just fall on your ass.
You can tell they were trying to do something cool and innovative, but it just ends up being annoying as crap. You fall down on the ground. Here, how do I guess I can't do it here, of course. But
you can just... Oh wait, no. Once we get in the garage, you can
pretty much you go down into like Last Stand, like from Call of Duty, and you shoot that way, and you got to get back up. And it's just so annoying. Like, just have me take damage and like any other game, and then just have me continue on. I don't need to fall down. That's so annoying. And I will say though, from going from 5 to this game, I'm so glad that they got rid of that aiming system that was in 4 and 5, because that was just straight up annoying. And yeah, I mean, we've played through Leon's campaign, Chris's campaign. So far, I like Leon's. Jake's campaign isn't really impressing me much. We're about 1 mission in, and we're already replaying something that we already did in Chris's campaign. So it's like, hey, this is nothing new. We're not getting anything out of the story. We're just replaying the same exact mission. What's the point of this? It's so annoying. And as for, I'm glad they had co-op in. I wish they would have put a co-op mode in 7 and 8. Hopefully we can get one in 9. But in terms of like examples, shining examples that I would point to as what makes Resident Evil great would obviously be 4 and 7. So far, those are the best Resident Evil games. And going forward, that's really what I want out of this franchise, is either another game like 4 or 7, or even a mix of the two. Certainly not this, though, because this is just, it's not fun, it's stupid, and the multiplayer is a whole nother thing. The multiplayer is not fun at all, it's not enjoyable, it's a complete waste of time, and we're pretty much being forced to do it just for the sake of the achievements. Otherwise, I would have no interest in it whatsoever. And these stupid, here's another one, and these stupid analog QuickTime events are so annoying. They keep popping up constantly throughout the game. And I like QuickTime events, but this not with analog sticks. It's just annoying to have to keep rotating these around in a circle as fast as you can to not die or something stupid. So overall, this game is just long as crap for no reason and just frustrating all around. So, with that said, I would definitely place it at the bottom of the list. There's no way it can be any worse than the first game, though, but it is definitely at the bottom. So, Dad, do you have anything else on this Resident Evil 6?
Grab your gun.
Yeah. So, as you notice, we're playing the HD remaster of the game. We're not playing the original at the moment. But the original, I think, on the 360 has a worse camera angle. Like, it is just literally glued to your character, and like just moving around and looking is like, it's just a pain. And then the HD remaster, they changed it so the camera is more zoomed out, which I'm grateful for, but even still, this game still suffers at the problems the original had. It's still long, it's still boring, it's still over the top. And the point for the intertwining storylines, each campaign starts different, but halfway through they all meet up and you're literally just there with them. So it's like, you can literally cut that out of the game, and you could just put it as a cutscene of them meeting up, and then all of a sudden you're back on your own again. Like, I don't have to play through the same part I did as Chris when I'm playing as Jake and Sherry, and literally the first mission you have to kill the 3 Ogromans that you literally did in Chris's campaigns. It's just redundant. They're just reusing assets to prolong the game, which it didn't work out in their favor. And like you said, one mission taking an hour apiece is... At a point, it gets to where it's like, why won't this mission end? It just drags, and by the time we're done with it, like you say, that it's just, well, I want to get off because the missions are so long. And I'm glad we never got a Resident Evil 6S game again, because this game just proved what Capcom was doing was not the way. But that's all I gotta say about Resident Evil 6. This is not a good Resident Evil game. It's a good action game. It's not a good Resident Evil game, I'll tell you that. But that's what I gotta say about it.
Yeah, guys, so I think that's all we have. Resident Evil 6, one of the worst Resident Evil games. Definitely a failure. But I'm optimistic about the future of the franchise. After 7 and 8 were pretty good games. So let us know down in the comments below what you guys thought of Resident Evil 6. And do you agree with us? Do you not agree? Do you think it's the worst Resident Evil game? Do you think it's the best Resident Evil game? I'm curious to know what you guys think. And we'll see you guys all in the next video.